In today's program, we'll continue to explore the spiritual wisdom in Shakespeare's timeless masterpieces. Known as the Bard of Avon, William Shakespeare was one of the world's greatest poets, playwrights, actors, and directors in the Renaissance era. Lauded as England's national poet, he gifted humanity with many remarkable literary treasures. The prolific wordsmith's canon, written within a mere 25 years, includes an incredible 37 plays and 154 sonnets, which, together with other poems, are still fervently admired and interpreted today. His renowned contemporary, the poet and dramatist Ben Jonson, predicted that Shakespeare was not of an age but for all time, a statement which has proved to be true. Nature's blessings awaken us to the truth and bring us closer to God. By drawing on the pastoral, Shakespeare reminds city-dwelling audiences of the richly edifying realizations that are born out of being in the great outdoors. From the play As You Like It, Act 2, Scene 1. Now, my co-mates and brothers in exile, hath not old custom made this life more sweet than that of painted pomp? Are not these woods more free from peril than their envious court? Here feel we not the penalty of Adam, the season's difference, as the icy fang and churlish chiding of the winter's wind, which, when it bites and blows upon my body, even till I shrink with cold, I smile and say, this is no flattery. These are counsellors that feelingly persuade me what I am. Sweet are the uses of adversity, which, like the toad, ugly and venomous, wears yet a precious jewel in his head. And this our life, exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in the running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything. Besides expounding the benefits of being in nature, Shakespeare also applied his unparalleled linguistic talent to enshrine timeless values such as cherishing life, acting with high moral principle, reflecting inwardly, showing clemency, and never losing hope. From the play King John, Act 4, Scene 2. There is no sure foundation set on blood, no certain life achieved by others' death. From the play Antony and Cleopatra, Act 1, Scene 5. We, ignorant of ourselves, beg often our own harms, which the wise powers deny us for our good, so find we profit by losing of our prayers. From the play The Merchant of Venice, Act 4, Scene 1. The quality of mercy is not strained, it droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed, it blesseth him that gives and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest, it becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. His sceptre shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty, wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above this sceptred sway. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute to God himself. And earthly power doth then show likest God's, when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the course of justice none of us should see salvation. We do pray for mercy, and that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. We'll be right back after a short message. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back, precious viewers. Feeling compassion for the suffering of animals resides in any true spiritual seeker's heart. And Shakespeare, spiritually minded as he was, scripted some poignant passages which show great concern for their welfare. In his play, titled King Henry VI, the king's pained speech about the deplorable treatment of a calf being torn away from his mother to be taken to slaughter bears astonishing similarities to Supreme Master Ching Hai's reaction to an upsetting clip.
两个很壮的男孩子去那个农场那边，有许多个牛牛在那边在一起，刚好吃东西了，吃草。他们来把那两个小鸟的 baby 那个小孩子的鸟，把它丢在车上。他们的车后面有空的嘛，我丢在里面两个。他的妈妈在后面跟着跑，哭了要死了，我看了我心都碎掉了。我在那边喊得很大声，我说停止这些了，没有人受得了。万一是你呢，懂吗？我好像看到自己的小孩被带走一样那种感觉，好像心的好脆，好受不了，懂不懂？
From the play King Henry VI, Part 2, Act 3, Scene 1. Thou never didst them wrong, nor no man wrong. And as the butcher takes away the calf, and binds the wretch, and beats it when it strays, bearing it to the bloody slaughterhouse, even so remorseless have they borne him hence. And as the dam runs, lowing up and down, looking the way her harmless young one went, and can do naught but wail her darling's loss. Moreover, in Shakespeare's play As You Like It, there is an exchange between Duke Senior and a lord, where the Duke expresses his remorse for hunting innocent wildlife living in the woodland. The lord then proceeds to tell of highly moral character Jacques' denunciation of blood sports, and vividly describes how he caringly lay beside a weeping, mortally wounded deer. From the play As You Like It, Act 2, Scene 1. Indeed, my lord, the melancholy Jacques grieves at that, and in that kind swears you do more usurp than doth your brother that hath banished you. Today my lord of Amiens and myself did steal behind him as he lay along under an oak, whose antique root peeps out upon the brook that brawls along this wood, to the which place a poor sequestered stag that from the hunter's aim had taken a hurt did come to languish. And indeed, my lord, the wretched animal heaved forth such groans, and the big round tears coursed one another down his innocent nose. And thus the hairy fool, much marked of the melancholy Jacques, stood on the extremest verge of the swift brook, augmenting it with tears. Thus most invectively he pierced through the body of the country, city, court, yea, and of this our life, swearing that we are mere usurpers, tyrants, and what's worse, to fright the animals and to kill them up in their assigned and native dwelling place. And, even over 400 years ago, Shakespeare showed an awareness of the fact that the consumption of meat dims a person's intelligence. From the play Twelfth Night, Act 1, Scene 3. Methinks sometimes I have no more wit than an ordinary man has, but I am a great eater of beef, and I believe that does harm to my wit. In his history and tragedy plays, Shakespeare wrote about wars not only to illustrate the ramifications of killing karma, but also to propagate his ideal for a peaceful world. As noted by British journalist and author John Gittings in an article titled Shakespeare and Tolstoy on Peace and War.
Peace is the last word of Cymbeline. The tempest ends with the peaceful resolution of life's storms, and peace is the subject of the last speech of Henry VIII. which looks forward to the mainly peaceful reign of Queen Elizabeth.
Queen Regnant Elizabeth I sat on the throne during most of Shakespeare's life and had been patron to his theatre troupe, the Lord Chamberlain's Men, inviting them to perform at her royal court on more than one occasion. So let's read an excerpt from Henry VIII, which heralds happiness and harmony for all under her rule. From Henry VIII, Act 5, Scene 5. In her days, every man shall eat in safety under his own vine what he plants, and sing the merry songs of peace to all his neighbours. God shall be truly known, and those about her, from her, shall read the perfect ways of honour, and by those claim their greatness not by blood. A fundamental reason why Shakespeare's plays have been so popular and meaningful across the centuries, from generation to generation, nationally and internationally, and across all echelons of society, is because he embedded them with wisdom. As Hamlet said, the purpose of his theatre is to hold up a mirror to us, to show us who we are, who we might be, and guide us through a soul-searching journey to ultimately show us who we ought to be for a life well lived. His works are a spiritual education which insightfully portray what love is and what love is not. In other words, what is the will of God and what is our own wanton desire. And although his advice was recorded in the late 1500s to early 1600s, it still remains relevant today to usher us toward an illumined life. The first line of Shakespeare's last will and testament reads,
I commend my soul into the hands of God my Creator, believing through the merits of Jesus Christ my Saviour, to be made a partaker of life everlasting.
In a sense, Shakespeare's prayer has been granted, because his cherished words have become like everlasting stars, shining with love and higher guidance for all those who read or hear them.